Welcome back, everyone. This is our last time together. I hope that you have enjoyed Compassion Camp just as much as I have and all of our volunteers have. Over the past 5 sessions, we've learned so much about compassion together. I know I've learned a lot from you. We've learned compassion begins with seeing, feeling, and welcoming. We talked about compassion helps us be brave and how it is important to love and care for ourselves. We learned last time how it helps us be open to people we encounter along the way and to trust God to lead us. Today, for our last time together, we explored how compassion gives us a fresh start through the beautiful tradition of Jubilee. Jubilee helps us see, feel, and trust God's abundance. God's abundance is meant for all people and all creation. When we make space for rest, gather together at the table, and care for those who need it the most, we show God's compassion. Let's ponder some questions for the last time. Why are fresh starts important? Why do you think it's important to rest? Why do you think it's important to celebrate? Why do we celebrate? How does this help us share God's compassion? Join me in our last song as we sing the Compassion Prayer.
Hi, we have finally our last song of the week, Compassion Prayer. This is on page 5 of the song sheet. Page 5, Compassion Prayer. And just like it says, it's a prayer about compassion. We've been talking about that all of the days, about how God provides compassion for us, understanding us, and loving us and welcoming us. He also wants us to provide compassion for other people, to love them and understand them and welcome them. We've learned about being brave and honest in trying to help others. We've learned about loving ourselves also and being compassionate toward ourselves. We've learned about how much love God has to show, has to give, and hopefully we can provide that same amount of love to other people, welcoming them. This song has a lot of signs in it and some new ones that are kind of fun. So I'm just going to go through those and we'll try the song. May, kind of like the sign maybe, but may we be filled with compassion. May we be filled with compassion. May we be filled up to the top of our hearts. Let's do that line again. May we be filled up to the top of our hearts. When we have, it's just touching ourselves, have the power, the power to make, and this is a fun sign, we twist and build. Make. When we have the power to make something right. And if you were looking down on these 2 fingers that we have, we've got a right angle there. To make something right. When we have the power to make something right, may we show, fun sign, pointer in a hand, show. I'm showing you. So I'm pointing to the center of my hand, show. May we show God's love. May we show God's love. I'm going to sing this with the signs so you have a chance to see the signs in extra time, but you also can start to learn the melody. May we be filled with compassion. May we be filled up to the top of our hearts when we have the power to make something right. May we show God's love. Again. May we be filled with compassion. May we be filled up to the top of our hearts when we have the power to make something right. May we show God's love. That's the first half of the song that talks about God filling us with that love and helping us to show compassion. The second half talks about how we can be shown compassion. So we're going to use a little different sign for the word shown. May we be shown. Instead of to show, this is to be shown. We put that hand back toward us. May we be shown compassion. May we, the words are to this next line are, may we be found in the center of peace. May we be found in the center of peace. And I'm going to change a little bit the order of the signs. So we're going to do the sign for May, and when we say the word found, we're actually going to sign the word center, and that is kind of a cupped hand center. So may we be found in the center, and then the word peace is a wipe or a swipe, a wipe or swipe the other way, and down. Peace. Peace. Because we have so many signs, so many motions for the word peace, we'll be kind of signing a lot during that line. May we be found in the center of peace. It's a lot of signs. May we be found in the center of peace. When we have needs, like you're tapping something, needs that others can meet. Let's do that again. When we have needs that others can meet, may we find God's love. When we have needs that others can meet, may we find God's love. And here's how that looks with the melody. May we be shown compassion. May we be found in the center of peace when we have needs that others can meet. May we find God's love. It's a lot of signs. If it's hard to remember all the signs, don't worry about it. You can maybe just sing this one if you want, or do the signs that you remember, and don't worry if you don't get them all. But the main thing is to remember that prayer about compassion, that we show it and that God provides it to us too through all the people around us. So I'll sing it again a few times and you can sing it with me. May we be filled with compassion. May we be filled up to the top of our hearts when we have the power to make something right. May we show God's. Oh, I did that all wrong. Let's try that line again. When we have the power. When we have the power to make something right, may we show God's love. May we be shown compassion. May we be found in the center of peace when we have needs that others can meet. May we find God's love. May we be filled with compassion. May we be filled up to the top of our hearts when we have the power to make something right. May we show God's love. May we be shown compassion. May we be found in the center of peace when we have needs that others can meet. May we find God's love. May we be filled with compassion. May we be filled up to the top of our hearts when we have the power to make something right. May we show God's love. May we be shown compassion. May we be found in the center of peace when we have needs that others can meet. May we find God's love. And I wish you love and joy through the rest of the summer, through the rest of this time. God bless you. Thank you for singing with me and signing. Bye.
Man, I really like that song, and I hope that you will continue to sing that song over the next coming weeks. God's compassion is God's justice. And working for God's justice, making things right, releases God's abundance into the world, making sure everyone has what they need. When we rest and help people and the land to rest, we show God's justice. When we gather together at the table in joy, we show God's justice. When we care for those who need the most help, we show God's justice. Justice, making things right, is what happens when we are compassionate. These are ways we show compassion: seeing and welcoming, being brave and showing up, loving ourselves, being present with each other, and fresh starts. And when we do these things, we show God's love, peace, and justice in the world. Let us close the same way we opened today, We place one hand on our heads and one hand on our hearts. Repeat after me. Joyful Spirit, your loving hands are always creating freedom, release, and fresh starts. Help us do the same today, by caring for all the living things with gentleness and care. Open us to humbly receive the same care ourselves. Make our hearts smile and our actions sing. With your praise, promises, and abundance toward the whole world. Amen. Friends, I have had an amazing time with you. I so appreciate you coming and joining me at Camp Compassion. I hope that you take everything you have learned into the world and share it with others. I hope that you have a wonderful time. Please reach out if you need anything, and we will see you next year.